Well, good afternoon from Seattle. It's been over a month and I've had COVID, I've hurt my back, I've experienced horrible weather, and now I'm finally back. Looks like we've got a decent afternoon, a little chilly and breezy, but seems like a decent one to explore Seattle a bit.
It's funny because I see it as a bit different.
The mountain is not out today. The mountain would be Mount Rainier, and it would be straight ahead of us, would be visible here if it wasn't cloudy. The Waterfront Park in this part of Seattle has these nice pocket beaches. Unfortunately, or maybe fortunately, this park is somewhat cut off from the city. There's a main road and then railroad tracks. So the connection is at the far ends, either the south end or the north end of the waterfront, or by way of one of two footbridges. And even one of those footbridges really doesn't go much of anywhere. But it does make for nice walking. Another beautiful little pocket beach. Tide is fairly low now. At high tide, it would be right up to the edges of these logs, which is how those logs came to be there. And from here, we have a view from one cruise terminal way over to the north, all the way around to the other cruise terminal to the south. You can just see the top of a cruise boat over there. Up that hill, there's a sculpture garden. Mostly modern work, not exactly my typical taste, but it's a nice place to sit out. A few pieces down here. Another sculpture.
Oh, that was great.
It's all part of the Olympic Sculpture Park, which is built partly on the other side of the train tracks and partly on the overpass over the train tracks. These sculptures have fountains around them that go on and off. On other days, I've seen these fountains go on and off. They'll go on around one sculpture, then around the other, then around both, then around neither. And that doesn't seem to be happening today. They just seem to be stuck on. Club 70 has good fish and chips. And I guess they've got their outdoor seating open today. Summer comes slowly to the northwest and then disappears very quickly. Train coming down the waterfront. And that looked like about a year's worth of trash from the city of Seattle. There used to be a waterfront trolley running on this third set of tracks and stopping at this platform here. It was closed when they built the sculpture park down where that overpass is, since that overpass displaced the trolley terminal, the far end of it. There were promises that it would come back, and of course it never has, and at this point quite a bit of the line has been covered up, so it never will, which is unfortunate because it would be nice to have some better options along the waterfront. The Edgewater Hotel. That's the hotel that the Beatles made. It was originally built for the World's Fair, never really opened on time, was on the verge of going bankrupt when in 1964 the Beatles needed a place to stay. Nobody wanted to host them because obviously it would have been a mess. And the Edgewater said, sure, come down here. And because it's actually built out on a pier, it was fairly easy to isolate. Although there were some incidences of people trying to swim over from West Seattle. That must have been pretty cold. In any case, the Edgewater survived and established itself a reputation as the place to go for touring bands. Inside, there's a nice display of photos of many of the musicians who've stayed here over the years. Also have a wonderful lobby and a nice coffee bar. Also a nice regular bar. And here is the other cruise terminal. Norwegian's getting ready to go today. Ah, yes, the Norwegian Global Destroyer, or whatever today's version is called. I guess some people enjoy being confined to a boat or a Vegas resort or a Disney location or something like that for days at a time. It's never really appealed to me. Don't miss classic wooden yachts. Oh. That's different. Definitely more interesting than the Norwegian Encore. Check it out.
Yesterday we were in the girls. So we're moving now.
Classic weekend. Hill Harbor Marina. Seattle apparently is one of the places that still has some expertise in at least maintaining old wooden boats. I don't know that many people are building them anymore. Nice to have the opportunity to look at some of them. Virginia 5. I looked at it closer up, and is the last of the historic Puget Sound steamers. There used to be hundreds of these. They call them the mosquito fleet because they steamed around Puget Sound like a swarm of mosquitoes, I guess. And those eventually consolidated down to a few ferry lines, and then I believe the big one that remained was the Blackball ferry line that eventually became Washington State Ferries. There is still one Blackball ferry that runs from Port Townsend to Victoria, British Columbia. I've been on it once. That might be a nice trip. Maybe for a future day. Seattle waterfront revitalization continues. The steps and escalators coming down from Pike Place are not yet complete, but it looks like the new aquarium building on the left is coming along nicely. I believe the idea is to replace some of the older pieces of the aquarium complex on the right, not replace it entirely. Aquarium's definitely coming along. I believe that round thing underneath there is the bottom. Yes, I can just see it's the bottom of a reef tank, and I guess you can look in from below, from outside, and presumably from inside as well. Not sure exactly what the plans are for the aquarium, but I'm guessing some of these pieces here may be less necessary. When I moved to Seattle in 2018, this revitalization was just beginning. They had just closed the old Alaskan Way viaduct. This whole waterfront had a 2-level highway viaduct on it that they closed and then knocked down. And they've been slowly rebuilding ever since. I didn't think I'd be here long enough to see it even partially done. But at this point, it seems like I might be here long enough to see it mostly done. Probably not completely done.
Awesome.
Looks like this section of pier is structurally mostly complete. The old pier that had been here had some sculptures and other attractions on it. I'm sure some of those will be replaced. Nice. This is a section of waterfront that is mostly tourist trap. Not really different from most waterfronts in most cities. where you can buy pretty much the same fast food pretending to be authentic local seafood, the same t-shirts with the same designs pretending to somehow be unique to the location, and everything else you find in your normal tourist trap destinations. But I'll walk through this down to the new ferry terminal and check that out, because I haven't really been in there as a pedestrian. Rebuilding the ferry terminal was part of waterfront revitalization, and I've used it a few times during, as well as a few times either by car or motorcycle departing from below. But I don't think I've been here since it's complete. Last time I was here, there was still some construction going on. I think there was a baseball game, and people are just leaving. Looks like a bunch of them are carrying posters. There must have been a special giveaway today. Looks like there's still a bit of work going on. Not all the lanes are fully open. I presume that will wrap up in the coming weeks as everything else completes. Ferry terminal's nice, and it is convenient to the stadiums, so on a game day, there are people waiting. Looks like there's one little piece of deck over here that isn't quite done. Not sure what the plans are. Maybe they decided they don't need it. Well, this is the other side of the aquarium. There's the overpass from Pike Place Market that I think is supposed to open really soon. I'm sure they want it open for summer. For now, it looks like people are still coming down the old staircase. Well, the upper sections are definitely open. It just looks like the new piece that crosses over the roadway and comes down next to the aquarium is not quite yet open. I'm sure that'll happen soon. Over here, the train tracks. They then go into a tunnel over there and under downtown Seattle. Heading back towards the waterfront.
Elliot, just leave it.
Well, big Norwegian monstrosity is still here. Still hasn't cast off the lines yet. But down at the Bell Harbor Marina, the wooden boats are slowly departing. There's one disappearing now, and I think the others will pretty soon. Back here at the Pocket Beach, did a nice, well, not quite a circle, but a up and down the waterfront with a little bit of a detour. Now heading back home. It's actually been a nice afternoon. Clouds are coming in. I suspect we'll get some weather tonight, but we are supposed to finally have summer. And since I do expect to be here for the next couple of months, there will be some adventures in the Northwest and Canada coming up. Most of the cruise boats have left. Well, all of them have now left. The last one is departing right there. And looks like we've got a full freighter at the grain terminal. Another waiting to move into its place. There goes one of the wooden boats. All in all, a very nice day. But once again, those clouds are looking a little dangerous.